You're listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast, live every Tuesday night, right here on all your favorite social media networks. We got YouTube, we got Rumble, we got Facebook, we got Twitter, all of them. We're taking over the world week by week. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
And he said it there best. He is a sheep this week.
No.
Mr. Sheep.
Mr. Sheeple?
You are a sheeple. If you're following all the monstrosities out there just going along with the crowd, be different. Be like Red Moon.
I like being different.
I like beer.
I like beer.
Beer is
We have another
a wonderful
great,
invention.
Now, we've had this one before, but it's
terrific.
another good one from Fairhope.
I like it.
Got to get through the Fairhope before I can buy some more. I've just got way too much of it right now.
Is that why you brought it? He's like, guys,
It's
get
like,
rid of
I gotta get rid of this.
Get rid of this for
Gotta
me.
drink this.
It smells so good. Oh, I gotta give a
like
special
it.
shout out.
I like it. Me too.
Special shout out. And I think you're gonna do the same thing.
I was saying, me too. We both got special shout outs.
Special shout out to my mom.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday. And Keith.
Again, to my mother, happy birthday.
That's right.
Their birthday's the same
Yep.
day?
Yeah,
They sure
I didn't know
February
that.
7th. Now, I don't
didn't
think
know
the
that.
That's
year's
actually,
same.
my mom is 70 today.
Oh, no, okay. No, wait, that's right,
I
because
just
she's...
told the whole world her age.
You're in trouble.
Yeah,
So-
you're in trouble. Wait, I can't do math. Come on, y'all know simple math's not my
Oh,
subject.
man.
mean, come on.
53.
Okay, 53?
Yeah.
Was it really 53?
Yeah.
Wow. My dad was
That's 70 years
55, my
from
mom was
ago.
60.
If you give the name,
Sorry,
people are going to know the
years,
age anyway.
1955 and 1960.
There you go.
My mom was born in 60, so February 7th, 1960. That's
Mm.
right. Happy birthday, Mom! I need to call her.
Happy
I tried to
birthday,
call her
ladies.
this morning.
I actually went over there before I went to Brian's. That's why I was a little bit later today, because I actually went to the house.
Being the good son.
So
Yeah.
I don't think my mom's watching either.
I went over there and annoyed
So
the crap out of her.
I need to
and
call
then she
her.
was like, get out of here. And I was like, okay.
Should I-
She quit watching a long
Should I call
time
my
ago.
mom live on the show?
Is she up?
So let's.
If I called my
What
mom
time
right
is
now,
it?
she'd be mad
Let's
because
see.
she'd be like, I'm trying to sleep.
I don't know if my mom's gonna answer, and I don't know if.
I mean, at 70 years old, she might be in bed at 9.
Let's see if my mom answers.
That should be mad at you, calling her old.
My dad's
we
70.
go.
He's
He doesn't-
probably in bed, but that's because he gets up at 3 in the morning to go to work.
Hello.
Hey, Mom.
Hey.
Hey, I'm calling on the show. We're live right now on the air.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, we are. And I name dropped you and wanted to wish you a happy birthday. And because I've got the show and I know it's late, I wasn't able to call you beforehand. So I wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It has been a happy one.
Good. All righty, Mom.
Okay. Thanks, Brandon.
All right. Love you. All right.
All right. Love you too. Bye
All
bye.
right, bye. There we
That
go.
was
Live
sweet.
on air.
That was
Nice.
sweet.
I had to call my mom, wish her a happy birthday.
Nice.
I really did. I called her. What was funny because it was actually somewhat by
Glad
mistake.
you didn't forget your mother.
I was gonna text this morning, and when
Keith, call your mom.
do it live on air. Or
can't.
she's
I
wanna hear
asleep.
Jerry.
I've already wished her happy birthday.
She's probably like, let me sleep.
She'd be like, what do you want, Keith?
Yeah. I've already.
I wished her a happy birthday on Facebook. I'm not
Nice.
friends with your mom on Facebook.
It's okay. My mom don't have a Facebook.
Sorry.
My dad had one a while back, but they both got rid of it.
Yeah.
My dad was like, I never use
It's the
it.
best thing.
Yeah, it's dumb.
That's about the.
Facebook's
o-
for dummy heads.
That's the only thing it's good for though. Is staying in touch with like long distance family members, long lost friends from old.
From the old days.
But-
the olden.
But no,
days.
I woke up and then
yore.
Siri did the suggestion thing. But now that the notifications are at the bottom, I went to go unlock my phone and I hit the phone icon. So it started to call my mom, but I had literally just got out of bed.
Oh.
So I was like, I was like, I can't talk yet. So I hit the end button.
Yeah.
Well, then my mom tried to call me back.
Yeah.
But I was letting Edie outside. So then I come back in and my mom left a voicemail and was like, hey, I just saw you tried to call. You know, I was like, daggone it.
Yeah, you're a terrible son.
Well, then I tried to call back. And now my mom was busy. So we were playing phone
Yeah.
tag in the morning.
She was probably trying to call you again.
It was just phone looping back and forth.
Yeah.
You should have just
Phone tag.
said happy birthday.
I
first
did.
thing. In
I
the morning
texted.
when you
I
woke up.
texted her happy birthday.
No, I mean, so you shouldn't have hung up. You should have just powered through it.
I
been
wasn't
like,
even. I was
through it.
half awake.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Mom.
You should have. It would have been more authentic. It's like you were the first thing I thought of when I woke up.
I mean, it was.
He was still holding his crotch at the time. Like it's like
No, you know what
don't follow
happened.
you wake
mom
up with
doing
your
that.
hand on your ding dong, and it's like I can't call my mom right now.
Why you got to bring that into it?
You just ruined a sweet moment. And a sweet
Totally
moment on
ruined it.
air, and now it's
It's
over.
just ruined.
Hey, we're all guys here. You
That's
know how
what we
it
do
is.
on the podcast.
Fall
We just
asleep
ruin
and
it.
wake
What'd
up
you
and just
do?
like exactly. It's like why am I holding this when I wake up? I dreamt about Red Skelton. Like I didn't even dream about anything good.
No, yeah, I know you were dreaming about Kevin.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Kevin who?
Kevin
Costner?
who's leaving Yellowstone. That's who you
No,
were dreaming about.
Maybe.
No.
They're
I know,
saying
you're
he's
sad.
not
Me
now.
and
You're
Kevin
sad.
are not on
Now
that
they're saying
level.
they want them both.
He's too old for
So-
me.
Well, all I know is we got a great movie to review.
Yeah. Let's get through that.
Share the load.
I don't know why that one was on there.
That's what I thought of.
That's okay.
From what? Why'd you think of that one? From Lord
Because
of
we
the
got to
Rings?
review this movie.
I gotcha. Yeah, meaning that's kind of a down and depressing.
That's
one.
your load though, Keith, because that's your review.
There's a very.
That's just my favorite.
Hey, it's finally on there after like a year of waiting, 2 years of waiting. Probably.
Yeah.
It's what we do here at Red Moon. We make you wait, but then when it hits,
We're gonna use
That
it
is the
every
greatest.
day.
That is the greatest moment
Every
of
time.
Jake Lloyd's life. That's it. I mean, it's sad, but it's true.
true.
That was the highlight of his.
That's
he
true.
peaked right there.
Yep.
because after that, it's like it was just down to drugs and prison.
Yeah.
it's like and he's gone. He's out of here. He's out of society.
Mm.
Alrighty, guys, we do have a great show. It's not all depressing. No, really. Happy birthday to our moms. Both
Yeah.
sharing the same birthday, February
I mean,
7th.
if our
Hopefully
moms,
it's been a
if
great
not
day.
for our moms, there might not be a Red Moon because we wouldn't be here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sean, you would have never come up with the idea. Just leaving you out. He's saying you couldn't have concocted this brain trust right
No.
here.
I didn't
No
say
way.
that.
No way.
He's just putting
No way.
words into my mouth, assuming what I mean by the words I'm saying.
Nope. I would have named it different.
What would you
Yeah.
have named it?
I don't
What
know.
would what moon color?
I don't know. I just
If it
think
makes you feel better, it started out as a red orb, and then you
Red
you
No,
Orb.
changed it.
no. Red Orb was the company.
Yeah, I know. And then
And then
Chip
I
was
changed
like,
it to Red Orbit.
Orbit. That's what it was.
It was Red Orbit,
Yeah.
and then my brother was like, "That doesn't make any sense. It's that
It doesn't
there-
have to. It's a
An
name.
orbit is an inanimate object. It's just a
true. Yeah.
So he was just like, "Why don't you name it Red Moon or something?" Boom, stuck.
So your brother came up microchip.
That's it.
Came up with
he
the
came
idea.
up with it. He
'Cause
did.
We knew. Oh no, Chip is smarter than Brandon.
Yeah.
I mean, I never ever contested that. It's true.
That's why he likes Arrival and you don't.
that movie.
He gets it.
He's never seen it.
He gets it.
I know
he doesn't
he
have
wouldn't
to
like
see
it.
it.
I
He
know.
knows.
He's smart enough
That's
to
smart.
understand it. Yeah.
He saw it from the future.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah,
enough,
yeah.
enough
This
BS.
next movie.
Let's talk about
see if
our
anybody
movie.
gets this movie.
Oh.
It dethroned Avatar.
Yeah. Well,
I was gonna bring it up last week. I meant to say it last week on the show. I actually truly did think this would be the one to dethrone it, just because of M. Night's name, because it's the first big blockbuster.
I'm not shocked that
Think
it
it'll last,
dethroned
though?
Avatar. No, it won't.
No.
Yeah.
Especially with the cinema score that came out. I'm not gonna say yet because you haven't seen a review,
Yeah.
but no doubt it's not gonna last more than this week. Alrighty, guys, here is our review. Then none other M. Night's new one on the block, Knock at the Cabin.
M. Night Shyamalan delivers his latest film, Knock at the Cabin, based on the novel The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul G. Tremblay, and grossing $21 million its opening weekend against its $20 million budget, dethroning the Avatar sequel from its place as the #1 movie for 7 weeks straight now. Knock at the Cabin has been generating moderately positive buzz from critics. Telling the story of gay couple Eric and Andrew, played by Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, and their adopted daughter Wen, portrayed by Kristen Cui, who are vacationing at a lakeside cabin in the woods, when a group of strangers arrive unannounced, led by a man named Leonard, played by Dave Bautista. Eric and Andrew find themselves bound to chairs while Leonard explains to them the impossible burden placed upon everyone at the cabin. Leonard and his acquaintances have been given visions of the end of the world, visions which have led them to this very cabin where the family inside, Eric, Andrew, and Wynn, must choose to sacrifice one of themselves in order to stop the apocalypse. They must willingly choose, and the person to be sacrificed cannot kill themselves. Believing the intruders to be insane, or bigots targeting Eric and Andrew for being gay, Eric and Andrew refuse. But as time goes on, the visitors' visions of plagues fulfilled through grisly sacrifices seemingly come true, with Eric and ultimately Andrew considering the validity of Leonard's claim. Knock at the Cabin certainly has some intriguing story beats. Using only cameras and lenses from the 1990s to shoot the film, Shyamalan wanted the look and feel of an old-school suspense thriller, which in some parts he does succeed. Ultimately, however, there's not much about Knock at the Cabin worth sitting through. There are a few good moments of tension and some cinematography that evokes that old-school thriller style Shyamalan wanted. There isn't anything in the film that's fresh or new from a filmmaking aspect. Even the apocalyptic allegory and themes have been done before and better. Many critics praise the film for its so-called twist, the crux of the praise being either the twist is that there isn't one, the same thing critics said about Lady in the Water, Shyamalan's first film without a twist, though there have been plenty since then to make this praise nonsensical, or critics have praised the so-called twist as being the change to the way the novel ends. Though this isn't a twist either, as plenty of film adaptations change things from the source material. That would be like saying Frank Darabont's adaptation of The Mist has a twist ending because he changed the end from its source material. Sure, that is one way of subverting expectations and surprising viewers who may have read the novel, but it's not a twist. Shyamalan has instead traded a much more cynical ending, praised for being thought-provoking, to what critics now feel is a much more hope-filled ending. That is still a cynical view on life and reality, but less cynical than the book, because ultimately I find the themes of both to be untrue, which leads me to my biggest gripe about the film. The themes of love and sacrifice, universal themes, twisted into woke virtue signaling. Expressing the best of humanity is still garbage not worth saving, highlighted through the persecution of a homosexual relationship and the sacrifice many such people make for the sake of pacifying the terrible people throughout the world so they can continue to live normal lives. Full of tired stereotypes and cliches, Knock at the Cabin is a mediocre thriller that offers nothing unique or new outside of its themes that are weak and pointed. With no long-lasting message or universal themes, the film feels like Shyamalan's poor attempt at remaining relevant in Hollywood, garnering a lukewarm reception from even critics, who seem to only be giving it a pass for one reason. The film's only saving grace is Batista's performance, which, while very well done, isn't enough to give the film any cultural staying power, even if it managed to slide into a #1 spot this weekend. It's not Shyamalan's worst work by any means, but it's definitely his least memorable. I give Knock at the Cabin 1.5 out of 4 stars.
Leonard!
Leonard! Why did you do that, Leonard?
What are you doing, Leonard?
Why are you tying people up, Leonard?
Leonard, you got tattoos on your arms.
Leonard's having visions, Leonard.
Leonard, you can't teach the children basketball.
Leonard.
That is not in the movie.
That is in the movie.
By the way.
That's the best scene of the movie.
It's at the end. It's the end credits.
Honestly.
It's the mid-credit scene.
Yeah, the after credits scene.
Yeah.
Honestly, Leonard was the best part of the movie.
True.
Dave Batista, he can act.
Yeah, he can.
And I appreciated his performance, and
At
that
least
was
there's
about the
one
only
wrestler
thing.
that can act.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, everyone else is
Shots
just
fired.
Yeah.
No, I mean, seriously, I enjoy watching The Rock and John Cena because they're funny,
Yeah.
and they're entertaining, but they're not great actors.
They gotta give me something better.
Yeah.
Well, it is interesting
Batista's
because
giving me some good stuff.
well,
he
Batista's
can
been
actually
the,
do serious roles.
Yeah.
exactly. I was gonna say the most serious we've probably seen of The Rock was Black Adam.
Yeah, and even that was still just
And I
mostly
was
The
gonna
Rock
say
being The
Yeah.
Rock.
Right. I mean, that's not an emotional drama. And I would argue, based on even our review score of this film, this one isn't quite either.
No, but at
he's
least
no doubt his performance is the shining star of the film.
I did read M. Night said that he knew that he had to like hire Batista for the role after he watched Blade Runner. That makes sense because he was good in that too.
Yeah, he was.
Just sadly, the rest of this movie wasn't good. So
yeah, it's like, and when did M. Night realize he needed to just hire another director?
Hopefully after this.
Well, this
one.
isn't even an original project for him.
No.
This was one of the two. He had signed a deal with Universal to make 2 movies. Old was the first one, and this was the second. Both of them are adaptations. So I'm just like, okay, you're terrible.
I want the source. I want to see the source material.
I actually read the whole plot for the book just because I have no interest in reading the book.
Yeah.
And like I said in the review, what a lot of critics are calling, the twist is that he changed the way it ends. And I'm like, that's not a twist. All kinds of stuff changed stuff from the books. I mean, The Mist changed the ending from that book to the movie. That's not a twist. But anyway, apparently the ending of the book was even more cynical. I don't want to spoil anything, but they don't make they don't choose to sacrifice, basically. I don't want to say any more than that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I was going to spoil this whole movie.
Well, but
we can. I mean, we would just announce spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Turn
it's
away
a garbage
now.
movie. You don't need to watch it. We can spoil it.
Well, you're not really spoiling everything if we spoil the book now. If people haven't read the book, turn away. Because the one tragic thing...
I'm going to spoil everything.
Yeah.
Last chance. But the one tragic
Yeah.
thing that happens in the book that doesn't happen in the film is the little Asian girl dies.
Halfway through, when he's fighting for the gun and stuff,
Yeah.
he accidentally shoots the little girl. She dies. So once she's dead and they get to the end of it all, they decide, well, she's gone. We don't care about anybody else but ourselves, basically.
Oh.
Humanity's garbage. We're just going to, we'll choose each other and just live on.
So that's even more selfish than the way they already were.
But
through
in
most
the
of
movie, it's more hopeful, despite the fact that it's really not. It's still cynical. The only reason they do it is because she's basically alive, and they're like, well, we'll do it for her. Which people would say, oh, that's hopeful and beautiful. It's like, no, because they're still saying the rest of humanity is garbage, not worth saving.
That's right,
yeah. That was the main theme. Well, let's go around the table like we normally do. Sean, what did you end up settling
I gave it
on?
2.
2? Okay. I settled on 1.5 as well.
Yeah.
Part of that was I wanted to give it 2. I did think in some moments, especially pacing and story element wise, it's funny because Keith brought this to my attention. We gave Old 2 stars. I thought this was better than Old.
I did too.
I do.
But I didn't think it was good.
No.
And I would actually rate Old at 1 star now with this at 1.5.
To be fair,
If I
no,
could.
I agree. I think it was a little too high for Old, giving it 2 at the time. But I went back and watched that just to see why we said 2, and we'd said it's not his worst, which it wasn't, but it was worse than this. But actually, there is. The reason I would rate this lower than Old is because there's nothing memorable about this movie. Like, it's technically better made than Old, but it's boring. I'm never going to revisit it. At least some of his worst movies, like Old and The Happening, are so bad that you could watch them again and laugh. I would, yeah.
Well, I would even argue that the
Happening.
that the plot, like the mechanism that's causing all of the chaos in the film, is more interesting in Old and
Yes.
The Happening, and I just didn't think the cause of all of this in this movie was anything that I haven't already seen or heard, especially when it's somewhat biblical, like biblical prophecy, which was one of the things that I actually kind of walked away from the movie. And on my ride home, I was like thinking about it. It's usually on the ride home is when I really
do your unboxing.
I really think about things and chew on it for a while. And I was just like, if anything, to me, the movie shows that, one, there is a God, and he does have moments of wrath, and that there is prophecy that those moments will still come. And it was just like, and at the end of the movie, these people, how did they walk away from this and not believe in God? So it kind of made me think, if anything, I mean, they believed enough to actually end up making the sacrifice, but they also, because they knew that it was going to happen, they knew that it was true, that it was all really happening. And then it's just like, and then when they drive off, I'm just like, how would you not drive off with this profound belief that, wow, everything that is supposed to, everything that was said to happen is going to, or has happened. So I'm just like, I don't know. It was just a weird thought that I had, but I was like, even at the end, even when it's showing this future glimpse of him or one of the dads with the daughter, I'm just like, I wonder if he's still interested in men or not. I wonder if he was just like,
I have no doubt.
God, after all that happened, maybe I better fix some things.
because I don't think the movie said
No,
that,
I didn't think it did either.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm just like, wow, if I saw God's wrath like that, I'd be cleaning some things up.
But that's the thing. That's to take it at the value in which you perceive.
Yeah, no,
Your
that's my interpret. Yeah.
Well, but also that's to apply again a moral code that I don't think
That
the
the filmmakers
movie
don't have. Yeah.
No.
and they would never ever intend on the film portraying. And
Right.
I mean that's honestly what is kind of shocking to me is this comes from the same man who made Signs.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that just in terms of message, but I
Yeah.
also mean that in terms of just quality as well.
Oh, true.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a huge array of difference between literally everything from Sixth Sense to The Village and then post The Village. It's like, again, I didn't mind the visit. I liked it. It was a good return with regard to M. Night. But then you see even Glass had its shortcomings.
Yeah.
Split wasn't, amazing, but it was like, oh, okay, when you find out that it's
Split was the movie
adjacent
that
to Glass or to this like
Unbreakable,
trilogy
right,
and
yeah.
Unbreakable, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like what he did there. That's a cool way to build on that story. But again, it's like every movie since. I think you kind of pinpointed it in your review, and it was well said that it's like M. Night just kind of seems like this director who's trying to maintain relevance in this era of he was the mystique, like suspenseful director who came up with the twist that made you think, oh wow, that's clever. And I don't know if he ever wanted to be that or just got pigeonholed into that because of Sixth Sense, and then he continued to iterate on that through his other movies like Unbreakable, like The Village.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still find it kind of upsetting that I'm like, they're just totally different leagues and different calibers of filmmaking with regard to this, that I felt like even when you talk about it in the review of him using 90s lenses and cameras, I'm like, there was nothing.
Show.
There was
Yeah.
one interesting shot that I remember in this film when the camera tilts upward when Batista goes to swing, and it's like the camera ends up following him, and it just like follows him up and then follows him back down with
He
the slash.
wanted it to
was
look
that was
like
the
a
one
90s
decent thing.
suspense thriller, kind of like his earlier movies or like Silence of the Lambs. And I'm sitting here like, but it doesn't. Like if you go back and look at Signs, which was actually early 2000s, that has more of a look of like those 90s thrillers than this does. And granted, Signs was right after the 90s, so that makes sense. But it's like you captured a better tension and suspense in your earlier movies with Sixth Sense, Signs, The Village. All three of those movies, they're not outright scary as in horror, but the suspense and tension built in them, like The Village is scary. Like it creeps the crap out of me.
Well, one of those things that all of those movies have in common is it's the answer or the answer to the question is right in front of your face at the beginning of the film. You just don't know it.
If
you just don't know it. And it's like in the not really in The Happening a little bit, but in Old and even in this, it's just like, well, wait a minute, where's the twist? You didn't give me a twist. All of this stuff was really happening to begin with. I thought that in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like the twist to me would have been
the
if
only
it was all
one.
nonsense and there were just these coincidences happening and everything was orchestrated and not this biblical
I don't think
event happening.
For a lot of these movies, I don't think he intended there to be a twist. I think they are meant to be straightforward, but it's the critics who keep slapping on, well, the twist is there is no twist. It's like, you can't say that about every movie
literally
he
worked
releases.
for Lady in the Water. That was
Yeah.
it. And that was literally following.
Because they said that when that first came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember being pissed about it because of that. I was like, oh, I guess the twist is there isn't one.
Yeah.
And I was mad. I was upset. And because it wasn't traditional M. Night, but I was willing to forgive.
But
and
every
forget,
movie that's
and then
come
he's
out
just
since
been on a
then-
downward slope.
But every
since.
movie that's come out since then that doesn't have a twist that he makes, the critics are like, oh, there has no twist. And it's like, I don't think he doesn't want to be the twist guy all the time.
Well, I think it's
but
interesting
that's what
too.
made his earlier films good, though.
Well, and also he had this air about himself that he was like kind of this generation's Hitchcock. And he kind of moved away from that, especially when you do talk about, I mean, we can get into the morals and the themes of the film that I thought just fell flat because they're just straight up pandering. And ultimately, I did think, though, it's like, this is just one of those films where it just doesn't have the same mystique that the earlier films did. And I think it is interesting, like you brought up, Keith, about how he is, turning to material that's already written. And I'm like, part of what M. Night's whole shindig was that he could come up with his own creative stories, and he had a unique way of writing certain characters and certain stories that it was odd, but it was uniquely M. Night. Now, granted, I will give him credit here, or I'll give him I'm not going to say credit because I haven't seen the show. I'll give him leeway because he's been working on Apple TV's Severance.
Yeah,
and he's
I've heard
been
it's
working
really
on
good.
it for. He's on his 4th and final season with it. So it has 4 seasons. So apparently he's been writer and showrunner of that for Apple TV. And I haven't seen it. I'd like to check
Or
it
not
out.
Severance, it's Servant.
Servant.
Yeah.
My bad.
Severance is a different show.
That's Adam Scott in it, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sorry. No, Servant. He's been working on Servant. It's about to wrap. So if his creative energy and workflow has been invested in that show, and he's kind of done this deal with Universal where he's using and adapting older material or other material, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't necessarily think that's a bad move. But then why? To me, it actually it showcases more of a loss of creativity that you took something that already had the creative effort of writing put into it that you then bring to the screen and it has no luster at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing unique about it.
And it's been marketed as M. Night's return to whatever. It's like I've seen movie posters and stuff that have said that. Like M. Night's return to the suspense thriller and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was...
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
Keith, you look like you're...
Go say something.
No, I didn't have anything. I was listening to you all. I've said quite a bit of what I've wanted to say.
Because then I'll get into the moral
Let's do that.
discussion.
Because it's not a good movie. Go ahead.
Well, and actually, one other thing too was I did find it interesting that I'm like, for this movie to be billed the way it has been in terms of not just M. Night's return to suspense, but his. I just feel like he's rested on his laurels for so long because of his name. Mm-hmm. And people, yes, he's been able to make successful films, so you can't really knock him in the sense that, the studio wants something, they know they can slap his name on it. And he I think what I get more ticked about, just like with Old and even this one, when you see the trailers, this one I was less intrigued by, and we'll get into as to why. But it's like, you see the trailers and there's this air of mystique around it and you think it's going to be more clever than it really is. And I hate that because I'm like, okay, now you're just teasing me with this carrot that I never eventually get as a viewer. And that upsets me because then there is no payoff. And I just feel like I wasted my time and, brain cells. And that's kind of where I landed with this film is I was like, I was not really looking forward to it. Meaning that I thought the benefit of the doubt would be given once I saw it and thought, oh, that was better than I expected. And no, it's still, I walked out feeling the same way of like, no, that was about exactly what I was getting. And if you do watch the trailer, I think you even said this, Sean, walking out, it's a straightforward film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's really nothing, even some of the ambivalence that the characters have as to whether or not this is real or not, it's all projection. It's all told through dialogue. You don't see it in their actions. Mm-hmm. You don't see it in their worried nature. You don't see it done in a very creative way that I expect a filmmaker to do.
Yeah.
And it's like that was what I was going to say. Of all the things that are out there, of all the great literature, of all the great pieces that we have, why in the hell did you pick this book to adapt? There's only one reason I can think of. It's literally because it has a gay couple in it who adopted a child who then goes into the woods, and now the world is put on their shoulders to sacrifice one another because of their true love.
Right.
And I just kept thinking,
They
this
picked
is
it because it won the Bram Stoker Award, which is a very prestigious horror novel award.
But why did it win it?
But yeah, that's what I was saying. I just think it's funny because because looking through, I've read through the whole plot of the book because I'm not going to spend the time to read the book. I've seen the movie. Even seeing that it won the Bram Stoker Award, I'm just like, okay. But when you compare this novel to something like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or to even Bram Stoker's Dracula. Which the award's named for, I'm like, I don't see this there in 10, 20, 50 years, people will still be teaching Frankenstein and Dracula and classic horror novels. I don't see anybody but the most fringe class being like, we're going to pull out what the book's called The Cabin at the End of the World, and we're going to study that. It's not going to happen.
No. And that's honestly been my my biggest problem with a lot of what our current culture has been celebrating and has been rewarding. And it's like you see these award ceremonies. Well, most people don't, thank God, because they're terrible. I don't even want to get into the Grammys and the satanic performance that was that. But you look at a lot of what is being awarded these days, and there is literally nothing upholding it other than to virtue signal and say, bravo, bravo, you went against the grain. You chose what the message of today is. And it's like, so you're literally rewarding the behavior of simply, again, that YOLO lifestyle. Live in today's world, preach today's message, and who cares if it sticks 100 years from now?
Yeah.
There is no gratification of a yearning for a greater purpose, for a legacy that will hold to the end of time and beyond time. There is literally just an essence of, I'm here, might as well embrace this. This is what today calls for. And that's the sad thing about someone like the talent that used to be M. Night Shyamalan. He was the new kid on the block. He was the person who had something to prove. He actually showed up and brought you filmmaking in an era where you thought, I need some creativity. I want to see something different, or at least something that adds a little bit of, levity to what we were getting. And M. Night was one of those fresh-faced people early in the 2000s, late 90s, when he came out with Sixth Sense in 99. But yet, since then, we've seen nothing but just continual devolving into either I'm this creative genius era where he was doing After Earth and doing The Happening, and it was all of these, I've never done anything like this, and he's up to, oh man, he's going to give us something new. No, never delivered on that promise. To the humble, oh wow, I've actually got to prove myself. That's The Visit, Split. Back on top again to, he isn't just a one-time director. He's kind of making a comeback. Yeah. Let's give him praise where praise is due, and let's cheer him on. To, here we are again. Back into the light of, I'm going to just do whatever I think is best. And look, if you look at the Rotten Tomato score, it's got like a 60%.
Yeah.
It's fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Just barely, but it is.
Barely.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, it just
Audience?
screams. No. Well, audience is like 68.
Yeah.
What's
but
critics
is
score?
around the
64.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not.
At least last I checked earlier
They've
today.
been very lukewarm with it. It is funny because I mentioned this in a conversation we had earlier this week. Just that now what critics do is they'll watch it and they recognize the movie's not well made, it's garbage, so they'll praise the one part of it, the woke part of it, and be like, but really it's just kind of pandering. Like, this movie's not very good and it doesn't do anything to promote the message, so therefore he's just doing it just to pander. So now they it's kind of a backhanded thing where either if audiences like The Last of Us, if audiences really like the show, then they'll praise that and be like, see what they did and how they pushed this even further, and this is a great thing. But then if audiences don't like it, they can be like, well, that's because they were just
throwing us a bone.
Yeah, they weren't being authentic.
Yeah.
It really is the mob mentality. The critics have, ever since the MCU and the backlash that they were getting for being ultra critical, it's like they've now jumped on the bandwagon with the fans, and they kind of hang in there to the point of either going along with them or being so vastly apart that it's like, again, they're going to praise it just because of its woke virtues, like Velma, and then you're going to just see...
Actually, that's been trashed critically, too.
Well, true. I think it's like 30%, I think.
It's because, again, it's another one that they know is completely garbage, so now instead of praising it for being woke, they'll say, well, it actually is kind of offensive, and it's just them trying to pander, but they're actually being offensive instead of promoting it. So
it is.
It's like now they can they're
they've got a cop out.
Always
it too.
dissatisfied. Yeah, it's like you can't satisfy.
Either dissatisfied because it's too overboard, or dissatisfied because it's not overboard enough.
Yes, yeah.
And depending on the positive or the critical,
it's them trying to cover their own backs. Like, see, no, we understand sometimes it can be too much,
and that sums up the woke movement in general. And I know we can move on, but the fact is that it sums it up in the fact that it is so. It's just mob mentality. It is get along to go along, say what we say and do what we do. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. And if you don't get in line, and then the moment you do, but you mess up even a little bit, boom, you're written off. You're cast out. You're a leper. And it's just, that's what turns so many people off, because again, it's this benighted crowd that comes out and sets these rules, and the rules change on the daily, and you're either in or you're out. And if you're trying to go along and keep up, and you have these movies that are, I mean, it's funny, but I think of shows and how much content is out there anymore these days. And it's like even movies are kind of now becoming where they used to be, I think, the cultural norm of the precedent of what the day was. It's like now they're trying to play catch up. Now they're just trying to maintain relevance in this ridiculously woke culture that we have. And the problem is that where they don't realize is the most people who are investing in any movie aren't your tweens that are going out there looking for the next woke message that's being prevalent. Yeah. It's like, no, they're going to TikTok for that crap. They're going to social media for that crap to hear all those stupid, ridiculous ideas regurgitated back at them. When you go to the film, it was like, oh, this is actually someone who's put in thought and time and effort into telling this story, into telling this message. And yeah, granted, we have critical opinions on this show all the time. But it's truly a different era where in the last 3-4 years, it has just ratcheted up in rampant ways to where now movies are being specifically made just to have a woke message, and then everything else comes second.
Yeah.
It's all secondary. It doesn't matter.
The message is first, the filmmaking is last.
Yes. Yep. And unfortunately, I feel like when it's all said and done, Knock at the Cabin falls into that category. It is a lukewarm doomsday tale that has nothing unique about it. I even told you all, I said, most people may watch this, and if they do get, mad at the homophobic comments, or, oh, you didn't like it because the two main characters, it was a gay homosexual couple. It's like, no, those don't align with my values and my morals, and I'll be upfront and honest. But I even kept thinking, I told you all in the theater while we were watching the movie, replace either of the gay couple with a woman, and I was like, this movie would still suck.
Yeah, it would still.
I was like, it's just dribble.
Yeah,
like there was nothing unique about it. There was nothing that kept me wanting to be motivated to follow along and see if they actually made it out of this situation. There was nothing tense. All the tense moments were shown in the trailer, and you could piece everything together from the trailer as to how the movie's actually going to end up, and you'd be right. Yeah, it's that easy to tell. So, 1.5 out of 4 stars. Are you not entertained?
I wasn't entertained.
No, we're not.
No. Maybe that's how we should end our reviews now. You just say that, and we all just say no, or yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All right, guys, I think we're ready to move on to our headlines for the evening. So let's roll that big, beautiful open.
Whoop.
Love it. This is beautiful. That was beautiful.
I still refuse.
Refuse.
I refuse to do that. I will not make
He
the
will.
noises.
You did it once.
He did.
Once.
He did.
Yeah.
He did it one time.
I got drunk.
Yeah.
I got to find the episode.
Yeah. He felt compelled.
You went against the grain that day.
It was. I felt compelled.
The power of Christ
speaking in
compel
tongues.
you. But no, let's talk about our big headline.
Yeah.
It's the big one on the block. It's caused a lot of controversy, a lot of stir.
A lot of people are, they're talking about it, all right.
Let's talk about it. AMC.
No, legitimately. Go ahead.
No. I mean, it was good.
They are.
AMC is discounting certain seats in the theater. What in the world's going on when this news broke last night?
It's okay, here's the thing, because the one article we linked definitely uses the phrase discounting, which makes sense to me. If the idea is it's called sightlines, if you have to sit in a less than preferable seat, like they consider the best seats kind of the middle, which I think most people do.
Yeah.
But they have 3 tiers basically, and the worst seats are discounted. Which to me means, okay, whatever the ticket is now, that's what you paid for middle, and then anything worse than that would be less than that ticket price. But a lot of other like news sites and people reading it are coming up with kind of this idea that it's going to cost you more for better seats instead of the idea that it's less for worse seats. So I do think that's where a lot of the controversy is coming at, because I don't trust AMC either, so I could see it being more for better seats, but that's not what it does say, I will admit.
I think they would shoot themselves in the foot if they go that route.
It wouldn't surprise me, though.
No, I'm not saying that it's not. It's within the realm of possibility.
Because the idea of this is to try to
move.
get more people to the theaters to make more money.
Yes.
Discounting...
What I think it has been the main sticking point. For one, the fact that when I was reading the article, like you said, it's called sightlines.
Mm-hmm.
The S being capital means to me, at least internally and eventually what's going to spread to the public, as it has, is this is an actual, like...
It's a pricing tier.
It's a pricing tier, but it's an actual scheme that they have come up with internally that they're calling it and referring to.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a formal way of them saying, these are how we're going to price our seats.
Moving forward, yeah.
The problem that I see with that and what people have brought up, I mean, we brought up a plethora of arguments when this news first broke last night.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy to talk about it. I can't wait. But the fact is that you have them not clarifying, AMC's not clarifying that the current priced tickets for the premium seats
would stay the same.
would stay the same. And everybody's saying it is a discount, rightfully so, I think, is reading into it and reading the tea leaves and saying, now, wait a sec. You haven't really signified exactly what this price did. I mean, what happens if it's 25 cents off a ticket per
true.
tier? That's literally only a 50-cent savings in your
Well, and
pocket.
I also question...
Should you pick a word? Meaning they haven't come up with the actual prices.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
they are
reference
doing it in some, like New York's one. There's a couple that they're already doing this in.
And we do know that in those states, it's going to vary each state.
Yeah.
Based on
absolutely.
just taxes.
Well,
and
their
everything.
AMC subs list membership varies by
Right.
state.
And of course, that was one of our first major concerns because we're Stubbs A-list members.
It does say that we would get free access
Yeah,
to...
it says that it doesn't affect
best seats.
Stubbs list members.
Basically, our subscription goes unaffected. We
Right.
still get premium
Actually,
selection.
you could get a discount if you have to choose a lesser seat.
Right.
Was one of the things they were saying.
They discount your subscription price every month.
Now that
would be awesome.
that would be beneficial to again pushing your
Again,
subscription
if
service.
it's a discount.
Right.
Here's what having worked in retail areas, corporate, when they're desperate to try to get customers because they need money because they're bleeding dry, will do a lot of discounts and like BOGOs and this and that. But generally, I find a lot of that doesn't work because all you're doing is discounting the people that are already coming anyways, and it's not driving people who stopped coming back in. And I do question that with this is... Like for something like, opening night of a Marvel movie, that theater's going to be packed anyways. So now you're discounting seats for people that were already going to be there
and pay
regardless.
full price.
And then when it comes to emptier theaters, what's to stop somebody? I saw someone ask this online. If we went to see Knock at the Cabin and there was maybe like 6 people in the whole theater. What's to stop me from buying the ticket in the very front row that's cheap and then just sitting behind the bar anyway because nobody checks?
Or again, this is all subjective based on what they think and based on data, I guess, that they have surmised what is premium. For certain people, premium may be the upper back row. Yeah, and if
my brother loves the back. I hate it, but when he goes to the theaters, he goes to the back.
And I know people who do like the back row for that purpose. I'm like, why not just stay at home and watch? I don't understand that because it's the size of your TV at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, but again,
my brother asked me, why don't I just sit closer to my TV at home? I was like, I do.
It's like I want to fill in my whole peripheral vision.
Right.
But no, I think it's interesting because again, what may constitute as premium to one member may not to another. And when I say member, I just mean theater goer. But it is interesting because, like you said, where it's really going to matter is going to be on those theater packed nights. We haven't had a packed theater
in a long time.
In a long time for a normal showing. Right. Even when you have something along the lines of, an Avatar.
Avatar was crowded, but it wasn't
Avatar was
packed.
crowded, but even then that was still opening. That was still opening weekend. Those numbers are going to dwindle, and you're more or less cheating yourself out from the people who are going to pay regardless. And ultimately, from some people may say, well, if it is too packed and this is the only seat available and it's discounted because of that, then boom, a light bulb in my head goes off as, well, I don't want the worst experience. You're already subliminally telling me this is a bad experience if I sit here. Now, I know most people aren't going to look at it that way. But, I mean, we even brought up...
those people will wait till the next showing and pay more for a better ticket.
They could.
Because then I don't know.
Or they could just turn their butt right around home and say, I'm not going to see it here. Or I'll go a different day.
I've sat in line while people pick their seats at AMC. I've been in line to buy my concessions, and I've seen people picking their seats, and it's like, well, they're the only seats are all the way over on the side or all the way in the back, and then they look at the guy looks at the girl and he's like, honey, you want to see something different? And they're like, yeah, well, what time does that show start? And they're like, well, that one's 20 minutes. And then they buy a ticket to a whole other movie.
Which
so
is
it's
crazy.
just like they don't want to sit in a bad spot, so they'll go see another movie for the price.
And that
Whereas
could,
if they say, well, these side tickets are $5 cheaper, and then the guy's going
I
to
don't
say,
see it
well,
being that much
honey,
cheaper,
I
though,
want,
but yeah.
I'd like to save $5 on this date, so let's go see that movie and sit in the.
let me throw that out to y'all. What are you expecting? What kind of discount are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's going to be like $2.
That's-
$2 to $4.
I think that's even steep. I mean, think about it. Even with our Stubbs A-list, right now a deal is that if we get a medium-priced Coke,
You have 50 cents. Yeah.
you get the next size up for free.
Yeah.
But basically, so you get
but
a
it's
large
only
Coke
like a 50
for,
cents difference anyways.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if the price difference is only 50
If it's a
cents
quarter
per
or 50
ticket,
cents, it's not going to. That's not going to. Nobody's going to do it.
I don't see it being more than $1 in my opinion, but I don't know.
would you all even think it would go up that high?
To $1?
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I think it'll be $2 to $4.
Well, if there's going to be 3 tiers,
So
Discount.
you think like $2 for the
if,
mid-tier,
if,
$4
if the, if
for
the
the
standard
lowest?
ticket's $12, I think your discount ticket's going to be like $10 or $9, something like that.
Because they also said too, this does not apply to Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Because
That's
Tuesday's already
$5
$5
Tuesdays.
all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But see, if Tuesday is their discounted night, and the whole idea
not gonna-
and intent
yeah.
on this is to put more butts in the seats.
yeah, they're not going to discount
I
anything
don't know.
lower than 5, I don't
Well,
think.
of course not. But I do think that they could go $2 or $4 maybe off of the ticket price if they know that even on a normal weeknight, you're willing to go to a theater.
What does a ticket cost? A standard ticket.
It's almost
Not
$16
for IMAX.
now.
IMAX is like 18
16?
or 18
Is
or
it?
20 for
Yeah,
IMAX.
because IMAX tickets are like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought those
I thought
were
it was
like
like
18,
14.
19. I thought the
I thought
normal
the
ticket
normal
was
like
12 or 13.
14. Yeah.
Yeah, 12, 14 sounds about.
Dang, come on.
So then that's why I'm thinking.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking the discounted, the bad seats would be the problem is though the 3 tiers. That's where if you get into these weeds where you have the standard price and then you have the discounted price. But if you have the discounted or the value is what they're calling it, and the standard and the premium, well then you've got 3 tiers, and that's when I do think that they would look at that middle section and say those are the premium seats. Those are $2 more. Then you got 16,
Well,
14, and 12.
and therein lies the
and
rub.
that's when
That's
when
rub.
I would have the issue.
The problem is because they haven't clarified that even though we know as AMC Stubbs A-list members,
It's not going to affect us.
We've
but
got $20 price every month
Right.
so far.
yeah,
Unless it increases. But we do not have clarification from AMC that if you're not a subscriber,
yeah.
there's a chance that eventually the premium tickets could increase. Now, of course, you would think, and business sense would tell you, the only time you would increase the premium ticket would be when you increase the other tiers because
Yeah.
it's a general price increase across the board. So, sorry, everyone's getting screwed. That's just the way of it.
Yeah.
Inflation. But
So
Ultimately-
$12.59 I was looking at for like a Friday night ticket. It was $12.59 for just like a
Standard,
regular
not-
standard.
Well, IMAX or nothing like
and this
that.
may be
Yeah.
a dumb question, and because we subscribe to Stubbs A-list, I just don't know this.
Yeah.
Is it different per night, other than Tuesday, which is the discount
No, just
day?
you have like prime time and then matinee.
Matinee.
Those are
Okay.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, prices per day.
Unless
Why
it's
wouldn't they do
3D
that?
or IMAX, but you don't really have 3D movies anymore.
Why
except for
wouldn't they just
Avatar.
screw people out on Fridays and Saturday night? Is it because they know that if they were to raise the ticket prices on just that day? Because here's the thing, I think it's crooked, and I wouldn't say that it's right, but it makes more business sense for them to be like, no, Friday and Saturday are our higher traffic nights.
Yeah.
Simply because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's when new releases drop, other than maybe Wednesday.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just raise the ticket
we
prices
had
in
actually-
general on those nights to make up revenue? And people can get pissed, but it's like, you got to come to the theater, and that's the
Yeah.
only night you can
No,
make it.
I agree. I think
I
We've
just-
discussed that in the past. I forget what it may have been AMC. Remember they were talking about different like high profile releases like Warner Brothers with the Justice League. They talk
The
about
premium formats or something like
they
that.
Might,
yeah.
They might cost more for big blockbuster movies, and then the regular indie flicks would
Movie
be
Pass
cheaper.
was going to do that too in
'cause-
the end days.
And nothing came of that, but there were
Yeah.
some theaters that had been considering, well, maybe the big blockbusters, especially during COVID, like Marvel,
But again,
will charge more for.
And that's what I find so asinine is those are going to be the shows that on your opening night on the weekend are going to be theater packed anyway.
Yeah.
People will pay the premium price. So why discount the seats that you know are already going to be filled by fans?
I think it's going to push people to subscribe myself.
It was actually
And
when the
that
Batman
could-
came out. I remember we were talking about it, and it was AMC is charging more for the Batman tickets as it tests out a new pricing model. Yeah, I remember we were talking about last year.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And it never came here, thank God.
No, but they were testing out charging more for big blockbuster films than they charge for like an indie flick. It's like A24. Like that would be a cheaper ticket than seeing something like DC or Marvel.
And then, Sean, you were talking about...
I think if I was not a subscriber,
Because I think you're right on this.
and I saw these tiers, and I thought, well, if I subscribe, not only can I pre-order my ticket and pick my seat in the premium section for the same price every time, and not, then that's when I would just say, well, I mean, we'll just see 3 movies a month, and I'll subscribe. Or something like that. Because, I mean, honestly, like we talked about before, if you see one IMAX movie a month,
You've
paid for your subscription. Every movie after that is free.
Yeah.
Basically.
True.
Because it's just, $20 still, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it's like 20. Well, it depends on the market. Ours is still 20.
Ours is just 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, that's, to me, rather than have to deal with these tiers and worry about getting good seats or bad seats, I'm not the kind of person that shows up on movie night and goes up there and buys a ticket. I have my ticket a week
Ready.
before.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm like the ticket Nazi. I mean, I'm like, as soon as
True.
we talk about it, I'm like,
You
you
said
guys
it.
want me to order tickets?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to get them before anybody else does, because you know where I want to sit?
In the middle.
I want to sit in the freaking gosh darn middle in those
And-
premium
yep.
seats. And that's where if I'm sitting over on the side, I ain't going to go see it. I'll wait till another night when it's free or
But
when
see,
when those
I think
seats are open.
That's another thing that's interesting. I'm glad you saying that. I think you're right. I think it's to push subscriptions overall.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that depends on the competitive pricing that they choose to end up with, depending on the market.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm kind of with you. I think more people are going to end up in that camp where if they see a seat that they don't like, and it's the only one available. I mean, think about it even for us. You now have to give us a discount if we go see a movie and sit somewhere where we don't want to because we're a premium subscriber.
Yep.
Or you risk giving that seat away entirely because, say, a normal, non-subscriber comes in, wants to go see this film, sees this is the only seat, but doesn't prefer that one and thinks, I'll just go either somewhere else or I'm just not going to worry about seeing it. Well, you just left that on the table. That's money on the table now that they might have, completely you wouldn't have anyway if it was premium. But even if they choose to go, now they're not paying the same ticket price.
Or, I mean, like we said, the opposite, where people who think the back is to them premium,
Right.
now they feel like they're being punished for paying more for a middle seat because they still want to go to that showing and that showtime, so they're just going to sit in the middle where they wouldn't normally sit anyway.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen very often.
I don't
the
think-
middle is always full.
Yes, but again, I think it does in terms of like some people. I mean, we've talked about it in terms of IMAX before, and I think we're kind of in the minority. IMAX to us, because we know they remove the first few rows, the IMAX experience is the front row because it's not the same as the front row in all the other theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
But some people may consider that to be a lesser seat.
Yeah.
In
AMC
IMAX.
may roll that as because it's the front row.
Now,
They might roll that.
that might benefit us if we
we get
choose
discounts.
that
We always
and we
wanna
get
sit there.
discounts. But that's stupid in terms of AMC business wise because now you're giving discounts to people who would have chosen that anyway.
I think it's
That's true.
It's a little bit in the theater, anyways. It's a little bit more subjective of what is good and bad seats. I mean, obviously the things at the very end or the very front where I think most
if
people
I have
are
to
going
lean
agree.
back or if I have to look like this the whole movie, I don't want to go
Most
see
people,
it.
I think, would agree in the very far sides
Yeah.
or the very front row probably aren't the best. But still, for most of the seats, I think it's more relative than something like a sporting event or a concert where, obviously, if you're way up in the nosebleeds, that's different than being stage side.
But
so
you've
the tickets-
also paid a lot. Yeah, you've paid a lot less in price
and
for
this
those
is the
nosebleed
thing.
tickets.
I know Sean brought up too in our text thread yesterday, and I'm glad you bringing it back up. It's like, but to me, the difference there is when you're going to see a premium act, a live in concert. You're that much closer to the talent, what you're wanting
that's
to
my
see.
point. That's the point I was
When you're
trying to
going
make. I
see a
wasn't finished
movie.
yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go
that
ahead.
was my exact point. I think it's completely different than a theater
Agreed.
because, if you're field side at a football game, that you're going to pay more because you want to be that close. But then if you look at like a three deck stadium, the whole first deck is like one ticket price other than like right there field side. The second deck is a ticket price. The third deck, you don't really have the front row and the third deck being cheaper than the back row of the third deck. Whereas in a theater, which is all one room, I feel like that is kind of the same thing as a single deck at an event.
Well,
I mean, I would agree
go
with
ahead.
you to a certain extent, but to me, for someone that's a movie enthusiast that wants the best experience,
That's the
going to a
difference, though.
movie theater is no different. If I'm going to hear more sound out of the right side and less sound out of the left side because I'm setting up against the wall on the left side, then I don't want to. That's not a premium experience
I
to me.
agree,
But
but I
that's
think we're
also
different than the
taking in-
average
Well,
film-goer.
but I also think that's taking into consideration and giving too much credit to AMC that their sound
Sound works.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like if we went to
Big
see
difference.
Avatar in IMAX 3D and I'm sitting all the way over to one side, or in the back the 3D
And the
doesn't look as
perspective
good.
off,
Yeah, it's all off. So that's not a good experience to me.
But I agree with Keith, though. I think that ultimately we're the minority. We're the ones who subscribe.
That's
when
true.
I
We're
go
the
with
ones
my
admit that.
family, they think I'm crazy. Where I'm like, no, we got to sit here. And they're
Agreed.
just like, what does it matter?
Agreed. Most
the
people
best
do not
spot.
care.
Yeah.
And so that was going to be my follow up to all of this is at the end of the day, we're coming at it from the perspective of we subscribe to A-List. We're the premium movie going experience. We get pissed that the floors are sticky. We get pissed that the seats
Well, I don't know
are
if we're the
broken.
minority in that.
No, that's true. That's just bad customer service all around.
Broken seats and sticky floors is your toilets are falling apart.
You
I mean,
shouldn't be a premium subscriber to complain about that. But no, with us being in the minority in terms of the theater going experience and most people not caring, is that what AMC's chasing? They're chasing the average film goer who wants to go see either the blockbuster or who wants to go see a movie and thinks, oh, that ticket price is just too steep. But I can still go see it and save $4 because I'm willing to sit here and other people don't want to sit there. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, is it capturing that casual film goer that ultimately that's where AMC wants? They think it's that sweet spot.
That's why I don't necessarily think they will raise prices, because I don't think you will get that mentality if they raise the prices of the regular seats. I think that's just going to be strictly a discounted seat for a not so premium sight line.
And I agree with that line of thought, but then my thought is if that's the case, though, I don't see that really capturing enough people to bring in more viewers, which means that they ultimately will start losing money on the discount. And that's where I'm wondering about the feasibility of it, because I'm like, if this isn't bringing more people in, then
Jacob
I don't
Burris
see.
says he'll wave at us from his cheap seat.
Yeah.
So
Well,
And that's fine, yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
perfect example of exactly who we're talking about. I mean, it's
But
not that
Jacob,
he wouldn't
will this
complain if
convince
we
you to go see movies more often, or are you just going to
Exactly.
take the cheap
Yeah.
seat when you do go?
That's the bigger question. And if you take the cheap seat, regardless of when you go, only in the few times that you do, that's what Keith's bringing up in the sense that, okay, now...
You're not gaining more people, so you're losing money.
Exactly. You're leaving money on the table who would have paid regardless for the few times that they were going to go anyway.
Because I don't think it's a bad service to people to discount their tickets. I think that's an awesome idea, but my thing is, okay, if you're a company that's doing extraordinarily well and you can afford to do that, then that's awesome. I just, with AMC, the way they're struggling, I question how this is going to work.
I agree.
This is coming from the
It's
company
definitely
that just bought
they're
a
just
freaking
throwing
gold
stuff at the
mine
wall.
last
They're
year.
like they're just seeing what sticks. It's like we're testing this, we're trying this.
I mean, at least this one dealt with the realm of movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're not buying gold mines again. They did that once already.
But no, well, I wanted to bring up one comment from it was you sent the screenshot from IGN posting Elijah Wood and what he had to say on this matter, and I think it's kind of ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Well,
It
this is
was.
what kind of I saw a few people talking about it just from in smaller circles who are movie lovers on Twitter, but then when I saw this one from Elijah Wood, I'm like, wow, this is actually really shaking things up in the industry, and I got to give AMC credit in this regard. In the last year, they have found a way to stay in the damn headlines. They continue to come out. We particularly do take notice because we're not trying to hide anything. We subscribe to A-List on this show. All of us do.
Yeah.
But it is funny that AMC continually, it's almost like every other month, they come out with some headline that we're like, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't see Cinemark doing
We've
it.
seen-
I don't
yeah.
see, Rave Cinemas doing
At
it.
least, AMC's keeping themselves relevant. I guess that's helping them stay afloat.
Are you going to read what he said?
Yeah. Okay, so Elijah Wood, he criticized AMC theaters' new seat-based ticket pricing. His quote is, "The movie theater is and always has been a sacred democratic space for all, and this new initiative. The beer's getting to you." This new innovation. I'm sounding like Joe Biden in the State of the Union. This new initiative by AMC Theaters would essentially penalize people for lower income and reward for higher income.
But that would be, I would say that would be kind of true if they're charging more
if they charge
for
more.
better tickets.
Yeah.
But they have consistently said it's a discount, which to me means that the worst seats should cost less.
I was going to say, I mean, to me, that's democracy winning.
Yeah.
You're choosing to take a cheaper ticket for
Well,
almost what
again,
I would argue,
think there
even
are-
as a film lover, the same experience. Well, I wouldn't prefer it.
Right.
I know that I have a higher quality standard than a typical average film goer who's going to sit literally 15 seats away and be like, there's no difference.
Well, I think it's a clear example of how out of touch Hollywood is anyways. First of all, obviously you didn't actually read what it is if you're assuming the state, like he said. I think a lot of people are assuming it's going to cost more.
And I think it's fair criticism, and we've discussed this.
Well, yeah, and it's possible. I think it's a dumb move on AMC if they go that way.
Well, they haven't clarified.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And this is where we thought the back door came in. We think the reason AMC hasn't clarified the position of simply saying, no, the premium tickets aren't raising is because they're leaving wiggle room for, well, if that happens, we may have to raise ticket prices. Because if we go this route, we may have to edge those up a little bit more, which means maybe your Stubbs A-list will go up to $25.
Yeah.
Again, I think they're leaving wiggle room for the potential nature of if this catches on like wildfire, or if it doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think they're being oh God, I can't even get the word out.
The beer's getting to you.
Yeah,
too.
it is. Oh my gosh, there's no nation versus. You don't think they're being intentionally vague because they're trying to see what the backlash or
No, I'm sure they
reception
are.
is going to be of this news?
Oh yeah,
It's like if people go nuts over this, they're not going to do it.
Well, it's just like an Apple press conference. They're going to give you all the goods and all the details that you're going to latch onto and think you're going to imply and add the things that you like, and they're hoping the average film goer does that by hearing any of this news. But for anybody who looks into it, they're like, but there's an asterisk, there's a catch. Yeah. And then that's where you do the deep dive.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like, okay, AMC is not as big as Apple or is not as invested. It's just clearly, obviously, not as big an investment.
Like Elijah Wood sees the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to District 12.
They
Apparently
say
he does.
They do this all the time. And I am curious about, because I've tried Googling it. They'll always be like, just like the for premium movies, and they say Sightlines is already being tested in New York and places like that. It's like, okay, so what are the prices there? Because no one it says, and when you Google it, like I can't find anything. So I'm like, if it's already being tested in New York, we should have some idea of what the prices are.
True.
So what are they? Because they no media.
Can you
or
look
news
at
source,
it on your app? Can you change your location to a New York zip code?
Actually, that's a good question. We're going to do a live test right here on the show. Let's see
unless
if it works.
Unless it's only specific theaters and not all of New York, and then that'd be kind of hard because we'd have to try to figure out what theater.
Yeah,
but
that's
even
true.
Still, that
I would think whatever theater they have in downtown New York,
that
would
information
definitely be the case.
should be out there if it is being tested, like they say, and I haven't found anything.
Well, that's always
you could
issue.
always just pick any.
Can you
theater.
pick a city, or do you have to pick zip code?
I think you can pick
because I actually have a couple zip codes from New York City.
What is New York? New York.
Change location.
New York.
And just type in New York, and see what it says.
Okay.
I'm curious because I do think it's telling that
New York, Chicago, L.A., and Kansas City.
Let's see.
Those are the 4 cities they're trying it in.
And obviously they're doing it based on market data.
Okay, here's
whatever market data.
890 Broadway in New York. I feel like that should be.
Yeah, Broadway.
There's
yes.
Broadway and 2nd Avenue, either one of the Showtimes. Here we go. Let's see.
It should be like $30 a ticket.
I have no idea. This would be fun.
And you got a homeless man next to you shooting up meth.
Yeah, he's like, I got the discount tonight because I'm sitting over here on the side.
Let's
shooting up
pick.
my heroin. They gave me. What was your discount? They gave me a needle.
It's true.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
So this is not.
That's a little bitty theater.
This is bad. No, this is exactly what people are afraid of. Standard Sightline is normal ticket price. It says value Sightline $2 off, preferred Sightline $2 extra. So they're charging people $2 more in New York for the preferred seating, which is not even where I would sit. It looks like
So basically,
standard right there. It looks behind the bar, so
Where's
that's where
the
I would
handicap
want.
seats?
Right there. That's what I'm saying.
So anything behind the
so
handicap
actually, where we
seats.
normally sit is considered standard.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So then they'd have to give us a
But
discount
that's-
every time.
But that's my point. My point is this is subjective based on their data.
Literally, the preferred seating
turn it,
is just
show
the
it.
exact.
Here, hold
all
on.
the
So
brown
the
there-
yellow or brown
Yeah,
is
the yellow
premium.
brown is the premium. It's the dead, just a block in the center. Nobody sits if you can't
So wait,
get
is the blue? Is it a bluish?
Blue is the
the
handicap
blue is the
seats.
value sight line.
Or value sight
Those
line.
are the
Here,
worst.
hold that up again. Hold that up
in
one
that
more time.
in that theater, that's a little bitty
It
theater.
is a little bit
yeah.
theater. Let me.
So
I can,
it's
I'm
hard.
trying to- I'm trying to adjust the.
back it up
oh,
a
Buy
little
these
bit.
tickets in New York.
So
by
you can
accident.
see kind of the bluish,
The blue is that front
Front.
bar and a few handicap seats in the back.
and this is IMAX.
No, this is just a regular theater.
Yeah, that's crazy though because the ones on the very
Let me see
far
if I can
edges
find an IMAX
are
theater.
standard. They're not discounted.
Yeah.
and to me, if I've got to
That's
turn my
weird.
head at all,
That should be
to see
discounted.
the screen. That should be discounted.
Yeah.
That's what doesn't make any
if
sense to
if
me.
this is the idea of what their seating is, then no, that's not good. I was trying to see if I could find an IMAX theater in New York because they don't really have it listed. Let's try Second Avenue.
It's crazy.
I'm glad we're finding this out on the show live.
I was curious because
We're
I'm like,
following the
here we
beat
go.
on the ground.
Here we go. Here's IMAX.
No, he got it. He got it.
Second Avenue has an IMAX. Let's see, Friday night, because I chose Friday night on purpose just because I figured if
Yeah,
there's anything, it would be 9:30. What the heck is
That's
that?
a little bitty
Is that the-
theater.
no, that's
That can't be.
That's not
Well,
IMAX. There
Hold
we
on,
go.
wait. I can't
That's
see the
much
There
better.
we go. Yeah.
They don't have anything listed as in IMAX, so they
What
haven't.
if it's not in
Well,
IMAX?
I wonder, but here's the thing.
What if they only do
correct
it
me if
for-
I'm wrong.
So maybe the IMAX seating is just
$20
same price
across the
on
board.
Yeah.
it may be because
I'm
of
gonna
the
pick
premium
another.
format.
I'm gonna pick another one at this theater.
But also, correct me if I'm wrong. Even
no,
though we're
it's just
hold
not
on.
at this theater. Sorry.
Even though we're AMC Stubbs A list, you still, even when we go to IMAX, like a regular viewer still has to. They have to pay or they have to pick their seat.
Yeah,
they have to
we have to
reserve
pick our
it.
seat.
Yeah.
So I think it's all going to be the same price.
This theater just apparently they're not testing it out at this theater because every single one I click on doesn't have the
sight line.
So I just got lucky by picking the
Yeah.
Broadway theater, and it's actually one that they're
That
testing it
article
at.
does say though that if you're a A-list member, you still get to pick the premium seats as part of your subscription.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So we'd be good, but
We'd be
honestly,
good.
based on that theater, that's not where we sit anyways.
that sucks. Yeah.
I mean,
well, like
for
you
people
said,
who
we
don't
get
subscribe.
a discount. And who's to say that they're not keeping track of where most people sit per theater, per state? I mean, that's kind of the
That kind of makes you wonder: will the sight line change?
Oh, I have no doubt.
Like if they decide, well, people like these seats, so let's change these to premium seats.
Again, and that's crooked.
That is crooked.
Because
Yeah.
that's immediately going to, well, now we know these are the preferred. You would think that the data would already be in as
Yeah.
to what is the most popular seat, but on most of
AMC
these
doesn't do
theaters,
that.
you don't pick a seat before you go
No,
on
they
a
don't gather
regular
data
showing.
before they do anything.
No.
They just do it. They just buy gold mines.
If they did that, the freaking bathrooms would be clean every week.
Yeah, it's
because
like,
they'd gathered
let's
data on the
gather-
dirtiness.
Let's look at the reviews of
Well-
our theater and see how many.
And did I not bring that up in our thread last night when we were talking about this? It's like, why don't you fix the seats?
Yeah.
Fix the sound in your theaters.
Yeah.
Make sure the premium experience is felt first.
Yeah.
Irregardless of where you're at in
The
each
seats
theater
don't matter
house.
if
yeah.
nothing works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the sound. The last two movies we've been to has been awful, just awful.
What was it? Was it Megan? Was one to knock at the cabin?
No,
Was
no.
this one?
When me and you went and saw Babylon,
Oh.
which has a very heavy jazz soundtrack, it was awful because there was no bass. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I
didn't think Knock at the Cabin was terrible.
It wasn't. No,
but
it wasn't
I've been there
awful.
before where I've just been like,
Yeah.
I can't even hear this. Like
Yeah.
I can't hear what they're saying.
Oh,
Turn it up.
I didn't like Babylon anyways, but I'm like, at least the soundtrack I might have been able to enjoy, the jazz music. But yeah, it was.
Well, that just added some. I can't knock Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
I think he's right in calling this out
You're
because
basically saying,
he's
well, if
kind
you
of
want
going
the best
along.
seats,
Yeah.
you got to pay more.
I think he's.
It makes me feel good. I'm rich because I have the subscription.
well,
I
was
am
gonna
a
say,
Stubbs A-list member.
Hey,
Get away from me.
If the seats we like most end up being called,
I don't want to
standard.
sit by somebody in the cheap seats. I'm Billy Zane from Titanic.
Yes.
he should be down in
But
steerage.
hey, we may end up even get a discount every now
I'll
and
reach
then.
up to the guy in the cheap seats and hand him a buck and be like, "Go get me a Coke,
Yeah.
please."
go get a premium ticket.
Yeah.
It's on me.
Yeah, it's on me.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
Oh crap.
Well,
That blows.
That is.
Okay, what else?
I guess we're finally ready to move on to
Yeah.
our unique weekly segment. But I will say, based on that evidence, I'm sticking with my further conclusion that I came up with in our text thread. Not happy about it, but I'm a Stubbs
Yeah.
A-list member. I know it's not going to affect me. I just think it's a bad look on
not
AMC.
as not happy as
Nope.
Warner Brothers is with James Gunn, huh?
That's it. That's it. We're not bringing that.
No, we
up.
don't have
All
to.
that has to happen is Movie Pass launches with something good, or another theater chain like Cinemark, or somebody actually comes up with a decent subscription plan that competes.
True.
And we're out.
I mean, and that's really been, I mean, that's kind of been our argument all along, because the truth is that it's like, for us, if Cinemark or someone else offers I mean, Cinemark has been the only one that I've seen that, I mean, no, we have, oh gosh, what was the other theater?
It's in Indiana.
Yeah.
Regal. Yeah.
But no, but they're closing shops across the
Yeah,
nation.
Regal's been struggling.
They've been struggling. And I'm like, it just sucks because we've known AMC was the ones that came into battle against MoviePass first. And we knew all along that they were the ones that actually had the longevity and the bravado to stick with it. And they've stuck by, I will say, that as long as we've had MoviePass or Stubbs A-List, it's like we haven't seen a price increase. We've consistently been able to go with no fits or no troubles into seeing the experiences and
It's
the
a
movies that we
joy
want to.
when you get the points and get $5 and $10 off your concessions and stuff like that too. I mean,
True.
I think the points rack up pretty quick for a rewards program, to the point where at least once every month or so you're getting some kind of a discount.
No,
as many times
yeah.
as we see movies.
True.
That's-
But it's just interesting because it's like I agree. It's like I'm not beholden to AMC just because of the great deal we get with A-List. I'm beholden to the fact that it's the best deal
There's
right
nothing
now.
else comparable.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not married to AMC whatsoever. They've proven and ever since COVID and their downfall in terms of quality experience, I'm willing to look elsewhere. I want a better experience.
Just because they have the same color scheme as Red Moon,
It's like, I know.
we don't care.
Hey, it's not just that. It's that Nicole Kidman video. That's what gets me every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Ever Tim.
Alrighty, guys, let's move on to our unique weekly segment, Vices. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
There's the sound!
it's like
There it
AMC
is.
theaters.
That's right. Premium sound every week here on the Red Moon Podcast. That's right. Premium viewing experience at the comfort of your own home.
Premium.
That's right. You can watch us on your big screen TV and we look beautiful. You see our pretty faces every week.
Wow.
There's Sean. There's Keith. There's me.
You can sit as close as you want to, by
As
the way.
close as you want. You can see our nose hairs.
I like nose hairs.
That's right.
Need
All right,
to
let's-
trim mine.
Let's talk about it.
What's
we're
Vices?
going to geek out this week.
I saw.
I saw what Keith's original one
I'm
was.
trying to. Well, there was
I
just
answered it.
There was, well, I never saw that. There was a letter D with a question mark, so I just wrote out the rest of the sentence, and it's your fault for leaving a D up there. And
You can only imagine what it was.
let your imaginations roam on what that may be.
Alrighty,
I was trying to, because I know like on the actual PlayStation you could check like your playtime on games. I was trying to see if you could do that on the app.
You can't.
And because their app sucks.
Yep.
I
have to
know
get on the actual
I know
console.
in general which games I have.
Well, I haven't brought up the
sunk hours
topic.
into. Well, I am now.
Do it. Introduce it.
I don't know how you worded it. I'm sorry.
I mean, now
How
it's
many
worded in-
hours have you spent
The most
playing a game?
hours you've put into a video
There you
game.
go.
There it is.
And I actually just wanted to kind of see. I know which games I could say. I couldn't really tell you how many, but I do know Breath of the Wild for sure was one of a more recent one. Spider-Man.
About how many?
Like I said, I could not even give you an estimate.
Oh, wow.
I'm,
Really?
I'm
I know.
terrible at. Yeah, no, I'm terrible at that type of thing. Like I don't know.
Would you be shocked if you saw the playtime?
I mean, I'm sure it's 50 or more hours. I just
Oh,
don't
I
know.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Oh,
But
no.
I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten into the 100 hours. of
Oh,
video
what?
games.
What though?
I think the ghost hours I've ever spent has been
Bull.
about 90.
I already called
You
bull
need
on
to
that.
check it,
And here's
yeah.
the
I
reason,
have checked it.
Here's the reason I called
That's
bull
what
on
I was-
that.
Maybe
'cause I know,
actually Death Stranding is up in the hundreds. I do know that one.
but I also know you got a platinum on Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's still only I think 80 or 90 hours spent.
I got a platinum
Yeah.
that. I didn't know it was that.
It's
that
not
low.
hard.
Man. And that's all the DLC as well.
Maybe not with the DLC. I didn't take that into consideration.
Well, I think those are separate on your trophy list.
I'll have to look. I'll have to look and see for the hours spent. It probably is in the hundreds with the DLC because I want to say it's around 90-something hours. I could be wrong. Maybe I got into the 100 with Spider-Man. I did platinum Spider-Man though.
What would you say you think is?
Was it? I didn't think no 100%ed. I didn't platinum Spider-Man.
That is platinuming. If you 100%ed
within the game, but not within. I didn't get all the trophies.
You did. I looked at your trophy list.
Oh dang!
Yeah,
He's already spied.
I saw it because I was comparing
I
it to someone
Last
at work.
Jedi that I
did that one
platinumed.
too, because I was comparing it to someone at work, and when I saw that you had what you had on yours, I was like, oh crap! I was like,
I don't know if I've ever platinumed anything.
You have 0 platinums? There's no way.
That's what it says on my thing.
Unless they're counting DLC on there, that doesn't make any sense.
What is this? Let me see here. Go back. Go away.
You definitely have a platinum if you've 100%ed. Because I know you have one for Sly and Sly 2, I think, because I have those. And those are easy.
Well, because sometimes the trophies that they have, like that you can earn, aren't things in the game.
But,
so,
but based on the trophy counter itself, if it's at a full 100%. No, I'm not going off.
No, I'm talking about in game. It says I play. Like if you get in the game's menu, it says 100%.
But
that's not in the trophies.
But I saw on your trophy list that it was 100%.
I'm gonna look it up. Let someone else talk for a minute though.
I'm telling you, I know you platinumed them. You platinumed.
I can at least look at the trophies. I do know how
what
to do
about
that
you?
one.
I'm working on it. Hang on just a second.
I think my longest was either. I don't think it was Death Stranding. I'd have to look, but. Actually, mine was the Phantom Pain. I think is the longest, and I'm not even as close as some that are ridiculous. I know people who have spent, no doubt, 300 hours on a game, 400 hours. It's insane the amount of time.
Total. I have 2 of all the games. I'm trying to see which ones. It wasn't Fallen Order, which I thought it was. So it must be.
I know you did Spider-Man.
I think it must be Spider-Man and maybe one of the Slies and. Where's my platinum? If I click on the platinum, it doesn't pull it up. That's what
of course
states.
not.
I gotta go by
I know I know that's
I gotta scroll through all the games.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Is we're all PlayStation guys, so like we.
I would say Breath of the Wild, which and Death Stranding have been the 2 I sank the most hours into. I forgot all about Death Stranding. I can't believe that, but no, I know for a fact. Like
I sunk a lot into Death Stranding.
That's probably the one I have the most on. And here's the other problem, though, is because I think it splits it based on...
It does it based on the last time you collected a trophy.
Yeah, I only have 22% of trophies on Spider-Man.
What?
I only have 22% trophies on Spider-Man. I 100%ed all the tasks in the game, but that's not the trophies.
I'm saying when I saw your list, I can't see what the in-game completion is.
Oh, I know.
I only see the trophy completion.
Well, then you're looking at somebody else's.
On my list, it said 100%.
Oh, here we go. The PS5 version. I have 85% with the PS5 version.
Sean's still looking at his.
So Spider-Man, I did not platinum. What 2 did I platinum?
You'd have to just scroll through and find it.
I know, and there's too many I have too many games.
I thought Jedi Fallen Order was one. You sure you weren't looking at the PS4 one?
I may not be looking at the right one on that one, because I think the one I clicked on was the PS5 version, which I haven't actually
And here's the
played,
thing. You're
which is dumb, too. I'm like, why does there have to be for 2 different versions? It's like, it's the same game.
Because they had 2 different trophy lists. It's
well,
stupid.
I don't, it depends. If they added trophies, I could see
actually,
that.
I take that back, because sometimes they don't like Death Stranding.
Yeah.
When I uploaded my data from PS4 to PS5, my trophies started popping.
Yeah, it gives you all the trophies.
And it popped like 20 trophies just from uploading that data. And it was funny because if you look at the PS5 trophy list and what I've accomplished on Death Stranding, like 15 of them are the same timestamp.
I platinumed Fallen Order. Yeah, I knew I just spent a lot on that one.
You did platinum Fallen Order?
But I still guarantee you, because Fallen Order is really easy to platinum. I guarantee you I didn't spend as many hours on that as Spider-Man.
Now I'm going to do that.
Spider-Man has 85% because I did spend a lot of time on that. So that's one. So what is the other one?
Yeah, find out. And Sean, you still haven't found yours?
I'm still trying to find it, but I have over 1,000 hours on Destiny 2.
Oh, wow.
Are you serious?
I know that I do.
I forgot about Destiny 2. I bet I have a lot of hours on that, too.
It's 12 or 1,300 hours I have on Destiny 2.
That's just not even Destiny 1.
That's Destiny 2.
I really wish...
Holy shnikes.
I'm trying to find it.
I really wish it would give you on the app, because...
Yeah. Well, I have the Destiny Companion app, and I thought that it would show on there, but I'm not...
I didn't have time to look before coming to the show, because I wish I would have, because I would like to know exactly how many hours on each one.
I know I have over 200 on Skyrim.
Oh, wow.
Like
wow.
easily over 200 on Skyrim.
I wouldn't be. No, actually, I know for a fact that I've downloaded the game on PS3. Or actually, I have the disc for PS3. Downloaded the HD version on PS4, and of course the updated version for PS5. And I know on every one of them, I think the PS4 I transferred to the PS5, so it's the same save file. But I know that to me is my thing. If you calculate it based on per individual game, I would definitely say Phantom Pain. I think is the longest that I've played on any game, and I think, and it's still not even near that. I think you 1,000 hours. Woo!
I know for sure it's over 1,000.
And for me, Phantom Pain, I think maxed out. I think I was at like the 150, 180 mark in there that many hours. So even then, I didn't even crack 200.
There's a good 2 years.
I know
that I only played Destiny. I'm serious.
Sakes.
That was like the only game I played for like almost 2 years.
And why'd you stop? Were you just done? You maxed out?
There's number one, everything I need to do, I have to have more than one player. And and there's that's the number one reason.
1,000 hours in it.
and they just keep adding all these, like it got so much, it's bloated.
Yeah.
There's like 20 different currencies in the game now. I don't even know what you have to buy what. Like
that's stupid.
It's gotten so messed up.
I mean, I'll give them credit.
I haven't played it since
they haven't released a new one since what? When was Destiny 2 came out? When did it come out?
Oh, they've been chugging along.
Yeah,
with
they have another one that's coming out in a couple months.
It's an expansion though. Like it's still Destiny 2.
They're not doing
2,
a Destiny 3, yeah.
No, yeah, they're just adding on to Destiny 2.
But no, the other thing that I was going to bring up though is my cumulative hours in certain Final Fantasy games.
2017 is when Destiny 2 came out.
Okay. Cumulatively in certain Final Fantasy games, I know I've put in probably over 100, 200 hours. If you look at, I know I've played, because I've played through FF7 multiple times, at least 4 or 5 times I've played through that. And when I say played through, I have one save file in that regard where I got like everything that I could get. I didn't complete it in terms of like leveling everybody up to 100 or getting maxed out materia on everything. But I did. I got pretty far in terms of like pretty much beating all the super bosses in the game and whatnot, Ruby and Diamond and Emerald. But then I'm trying to think as far as like actually playing through the story and playing through multiple, like there were times where when I was a kid, I got into the habit of you could buy and sell and trade games all the time. I would sell a game and then I'd buy something new and play it, and then I'd go back and I'd rebuy the same game.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because if you remember back in the old PlayStation days, even PS2 was a whopping 8 megabytes of memory on a memory card. And so even on the old PS1, you had 15 blocks. Well, 15 blocks of data, most games were one block, so you could have like 15 game saves, or you'd have to buy another like $30 memory card, which we didn't have. We only had one memory card.
Yeah.
And so I remember like either having to like delete data and then re-add it back, or just pick a game that I was like, okay, I'm fine with. Sim Theme Park. I played that all the time, but it was like there were times where it took up 6 blocks.
That's true.
And so I had to delete the data, and then if I wanted to ever come back and revisit
games,
it, I had to restart it.
I couldn't really say, because there were, I know I played Pokemon Red like, I don't know how many times
Blue version,
from beginning to end.
Gold. Yep.
And Halo, like I played all the Halo, like the original trilogy, the newer games there. But the original trilogy, I know I played those games start to finish multiple times. Metal Gear I've played start to finish more than once. So how many hours I've sunk into just those franchises,
Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 I played through, because I think you...
Oh, I played through that because it was at the time when I only had Xbox, that was the only one they had released for the Xbox. So I played through Metal Gear Solid 2, I think 4 or 5 times just when I had the Xbox.
I know I've played through that game at least 15 times.
Oh wow.
Gosh.
I know I have, because I've collected all the dog tags, which you have to do on every difficulty. I've done that at least twice. So that's 6. Let's see, there's very easy, normal, hard, and very hard. So that's 5. So that's 10 times right there.
Nice.
And I've done it because I did it on the original, and then I know that I did it on the HD collection. I know I played through Metal Gear Solid 3 at least a dozen times. a lot of times for extra, but also like those are just, but those are games too that they're not on the same scale as like Final Fantasy or even like Red Dead or Skyrim. I mean, games nowadays are spent. You're supposed to live in the world. GTA 5. It's like you're looking at games that are supposed to be 200-300 hours long with all this ridiculous crap. Those games I could play through that many times because it equals 60 or 70 hours.
So I've got 70 or 80 hours in GTA.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. I bought that on all 3 platforms that it came out on. I bought it on all 3, and I've probably put in like total on all 3 platforms.
Yeah.
A dozen hours.
Oh, wow.
and I feel stupid for buying it because I buy it because I'm like, I'm going to get into it this time.
Yeah, it is.
It is
and
a
I
good
just,
game.
yeah.
Actually, I'm like that with Skyrim. While I love Skyrim, I've never actually gotten that far into Skyrim. So total hours on that
you
might
get
be
sidetracked in games like that.
You
though.
do.
It's just like you.
But
go
I mean,
in-
What
total
pissed me off
hours
about
though,
that
it's
one
probably
is
only
I-
about 30 for Skyrim for me. Like I just never.
And the most
Yeah.
amount of playtime I'd spent on it was on the PS3 when it first came out.
See, that's where I have it on PS5 and everything. And so I would say, like with Skyrim, the 200 plus hours I know that I have is over all those different platforms.
Right.
Like it's not on one platform.
Cumulative, and that's
Yeah.
fine. Well, and that's honestly, it's games like Skyrim that kind of piss me off because, and I know I've griped about this to you in private, Keith, about Kingdom Hearts. Oh, somebody's got some audio. But Kingdom Hearts, I played the original on PS2. I know I spent probably 60, 70 hours getting all of the accomplishments in the original Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah.
Leveling up to 100, getting
That's
all
what
the
the fact that it
but
doesn't
then
transfer
I can't
over.
transfer it to the PS3 HD collection when it comes out. So you know what I did? I played through Kingdom Hearts 1 all again and did all the extra stuff. Then what happens? They come out with the PS4 version
HD collection,
of the
yeah.
HD collection, and you can't transfer the save data, even though it's the same company
That did Final Fantasy.
that did Final Fantasy X, and you could transfer from PS3 to PS4. So I was just like, I'm done.
Well, especially when they
I
started-
played through this game, and I've literally 100%ed
Yeah.
the original Kingdom Hearts 3 times
That's
now.
crazy, yeah.
So in each of those times is like
What
at
makes me
least 70,
even
80
angrier
hours.
is from the PS3 on, they had cloud saves. So I'm like, if I could save it in the cloud, why can't
Why can't you convert it?
Yeah.
You can't tell me you don't have a cloud conversion tool that you can come up with. You're freaking programmers.
And that they could read the save file and be like, okay,
I'm
even though
still willing to
Well, 'cause
spend
it's
the
still running-
$70 on the brand new game if I could just play my other save file.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do. I'm still willing to spend the same amount of money. So I don't see why they don't do that.
I agree.
So annoying.
Yep.
Vigi games.
They are the video games.
I've seen quite a lot of hours into Elden Ring so far. I'll look it up and see how many and let you know when I get home.
How do you find it
I'm
on
curious.
your PlayStation?
So when you go to the trophy list and you click in the game itself on your trophy list on the PlayStation.
Yep.
I'm
I'm doing remote play right now. So.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
If you go to, that's so cool. Isn't that awesome though? Think about it. That's technology at its finest. Sean's on his PlayStation from his house.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Oh, I didn't think about doing that. Duh.
Well, y'all could do it.
Well, it's funny because my family's probably using it right now, so I would take
Kick 'em
over.
out.
Let's take over, and then Brandon's gonna be like,
It should
"What's
be
going on?"
in your trophy list.
Actually,
Sean.
they've been using the Xbox, so they probably won't even know. Other than that PlayStation coming on, and her wondering what the heck's going on.
Well, it won't switch the HDMI input, does it?
No, it won't
Okay.
do that.
But yeah, I think it's in the trophy list when you select the actual game from the trophy list.
Yep.
I believe it tells you either at the top or if you have to hit options maybe.
No, I'm pretty
on
sure
the
that's
game.
right. That's why I figured the app would, because you can look up your trophies on the app, but it's not there. And I'm just like, why is Sony?
You may have to hit options on the actual game on the trophy list, and it'll allow you to view more info. And then it shows you like the hours played of that game.
I've always liked to view more info.
So that's just showing me trophies. Rarity, ultra rare.
There is a way to do it though, because I've seen it, and I was actually
No,
kinda,
I've looked at mine in the past. I
Yeah.
just don't remember fully how
and
it
I was
works.
baffled because I think even there was a way you could sort it based on hours played, because I sorted it, and that was how Phantom Pain, I found out that was the most hours I put into a game. And again, that's not cumulative versus how many times I've played other games multiple times, but it was just one game in one playthrough. And Phantom Pain was like my highest on that list.
Higher and higher.
But
Well, it's
I know we're all going to sink a shit
letting
ton
me
of
see the
hours into
trophies.
Hogwarts Legacy. It's coming out.
I probably
going
won't,
to.
but I will play it.
You say that.
Well, I
Watch
don't
it turn
know.
into
It
Destiny 2.
It depends on how I get hooked. I don't know. Like Death Stranding, like I know for a fact that's probably one of the highest because I did. Like I
I was the same way. Honestly, I got more hooked on Death Stranding when they came out
love
with the
Death
director's
Stranding.
cut. And I was shocked by that, but I don't know why I felt more.
No, I definitely spent more hours before the director's cut, but I mean, I sank a lot.
Really?
Yeah, no, I had already had over 100 before the director's cut came out.
Damn, I didn't even, because I was catching up to you all, and then I finally caught up and I beat the game along the same time, and it died down.
Did you ever find it, Sean?
No.
Still haven't found it.
Nope.
Hold on. We're all looking here.
Yeah. I'm on my PlayStation right now looking.
I mean, I can sort by.
I'm gonna just say,
I didn't
hold
know
on.
it was on trophies.
View hours played PlayStation.
Well, I'm under trophies.
I'm just looking view your hours played. Oh, apparently on here it says how to view game hours played on PS4 and PS5 games, the easy method.
Okay, let's do that.
Well, this is YouTube. Probably gonna get
I hate
a damn
having
ad.
to watch videos.
I do
It's
too.
like, could you just tell me how to do it?
Right.
Well, they're gonna probably do an intro too and tell us their life story. I was on a Tuesday and I found out that when you click through this menu,
Yeah,
And they
it's
spend
so
15
true.
minutes before they actually get to the thing that only takes them 2 minutes to do.
so you go to profile. Hold on, up at the top. As you go to your you go to your actual gamer tag, your profile, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on that.
Yeah.
And then you scroll down to profile itself, then
Okay.
over to games.
Gotcha.
And then under games, I believe it shows you by each game your hours played underneath it.
All that did was show me my trophy.
So did you went to
Yeah,
your
no,
profile,
I went to yeah,
went down to what was the option you selected?
to profile,
Okay. And then from there
to games, and it literally just shows me the same thing as if I had gone to trophies.
Yeah, it doesn't.
it
it's not
doesn't show
showing
you your hours played?
And no.
It just says 65% progress, 9 out of 14 earned.
Really?
To know.
That's odd. What if you click like the options button on the game itself? This will be the
Lets me
longest.
play.
This will be
Yeah,
the
everybody's
longest
just watching us like trying to figure
episode
this
ever
out.
because we're trying to figure this out. If
Yeah.
somebody out there in the comments
Help us.
help us figure
Oh,
this out.
okay.
Did you figure it? How
Yeah,
do you do
it shows it over to the right when you're looking at the game.
At the game,
icon.
yeah, it shows
So,
it underneath the trophy
I've
icon.
got to go to the PS4 one though because my PS5
Oh, okay.
one
I
only
see it
has
now.
5
Yeah, hours
on it.
played.
See,
40.
I wasn't
Okay.
wrong. The video was right.
All right. Now how do
I
we
gotta find PS4.
sort it
version.
though? That's the problem. I need to sort them.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You may have to.
I found it. Hold on.
Did you for real?
1,434 hours on Destiny 2.
Holy snap!
Yeah,
1,400 hours,
yeah.
dude. That's more than any. I'll never compare to that. Damn, that's insane.
Sort by.
That's with all
most
the
played.
all the
There we go.
DLCs and all that stuff.
Okay, actually, I don't. That's cheating because it's the whole collection. The HD
What?
collection for Kingdom Hearts, I've sank 264 hours into, but that's all
That's
the
that works.
But
That's
all
every
the
game.
That's all the games though. That's not each individual. That's not Kingdom Hearts 1
Oh,
or
that's
2.
true.
It's like all the which I mean is fair. I don't know if it'll let you sort it.
I doubt it.
I did sink 252 into Destiny, the original Destiny.
Damn. Okay, so that was up there.
138 in Death Stranding, which I knew was a lot. 126 in Phantom Pain.
Hey, but you said at the
I didn't
start
think
of
I
this,
had the
you had
100.
went
But
over
they
the
were
100.
they were mostly open world and online. Destiny 2 has 123. Star Wars Fallen Order is 93, which sounds about right.
Here's
I
the
did have
sad thing.
82.
How do-
I did
how
have
do you
82 on
remote
Elder
play?
Scrolls. You have to have the app.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Oh, okay. It's a separate app. Yeah.
Hopefully, it can see my console. I'm in the same house,
So yeah.
I'm trying to find Destiny. Oh, there's Destiny 1.
and I'm trying.
I
to
already
see
have
it.
60 hours. I have 60 hours on Elden Ring.
Destiny 1, I had
60 hours already.
On Elden Ring, yeah.
Damn.
882 on Destiny 1.
So combined over 2,000 hours
Yeah,
One
that's
and
with
two.
crazy.
Destiny, the Destiny
Crazy.
franchise.
Destiny 1 I played 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the last
Wow.
time I played it.
And it's going to be the same with Destiny 2 because now when was the last time you played it?
Okay, so if I
It had
add
to have been
2
forever.
years ago, or it says 2 years ago on the PS4. It was like this year on the PS5.
Okay.
I only got 5 hours on the PS5 version,
Oh, I got
but on
you.
the PS4
It was
version, I
all-
got 1,400.
So you basically you slammed and hit that hard when Destiny 2 came out
oh my
originally.
god, yeah, that's all I played.
Yeah.
If I add Spider-Man from PS4 and PS5, It's 118 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
That's
because
awesome, though. Now that I know how you can do that.
Which I'm sorry that I do not. I can't.
you can't
connect.
look it up.
I
You
mean,
can't
I
look
could
it
go in
up.
the other room and leave the room and turn it on. But
44
I
hours
can't.
on the Nathan Drake collection because, again, it's all the games. I'm like, see, that's cheating.
It is.
I want to know. The Forest I've spent 32 hours on.
I love that it says literally searching for consoles nearby, and oh hey, I'm on.
Oh, I need to
Oh crap. Okay.
Death Stranding because 138 was the PS4. The PS5 is hold on, come back. What did I say? 138. The PS5's 29, so I have like almost 170 some odd hours on Death Stranding total.
Okay, so I go over to my profile.
This is
down
fun.
to,
I like this. Now we're just gonna sit. This is the whole show now. We're just gonna
is.
read off all of
I
our
go to
gaming
games,
hours.
And then how do you sort by not last played, most played?
Most played, yeah, and it'll give you.
Okay. So backing out.
I've got 101 hours on the Forest.
Okay, so yeah,
only
I was
had
right.
30 something
I was
on the
right.
Forest.
Phantom Pain was 191 hours.
Wow.
Uncharted was 103 hours on the Uncharted Legacy.
So for me,
Or Nathan Drake collection.
the
sorry.
Kingdom Hearts collection in its entirety is my most played. Destiny's the second, and
Dude,
then
Destiny-
Death Stranding's the third.
The original Destiny,
Yeah.
I didn't have nearly that much, but I had 81 hours.
Oh, I had 252.
I didn't realize I had that many.
I've got
Yeah.
94 on Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS4.
Ghost of Tsushima was 65. God of War
I know,
Ragnarok was
if I can find
58.
Battlefield 4. I know I had a bunch on Battlefield 4.
See, and this doesn't make any sense either. Like the Final Fantasy X, 10-2 HD collection, 57 hours. But I'm like, I mean, even Death Stranding. See, on the PS4, I had 50 hours played. And on the PS5, I had 45 hours. So I almost played a combined total the
crazy.
same hours. So that's 95 hours on Death Stranding. So I would like you said, I think when you combine the versions of the same game,
It does boost it up a little bit more.
You would
Yeah.
almost have to boost it up. That's only fair.
I wish it would do that for you. It's kind of silly that it doesn't.
Yeah, Destiny 2, I only put 41 hours in.
Wow.
Even the
You never
FF7
would hop
remake
on
was.
with us.
I didn't.
You don't love us enough.
84 hours on Dying Light 1.
Let's see. God of War original was 44 hours. Kingdom Hearts 3 was 34 hours. The Last of Us Part 2, 32 hours of a waste. It was a waste. Yeah, there's man. The only Elder Scrolls info that I have is from the PS4 version. I put in 25 hours.
I didn't even see Skyrim on mine.
Yeah, I think you're right because Keith, even Marvel Spider-Man, which I mostly played on PS5, 21 hours and I have 41% of the trophies.
Yeah.
So I could probably, I mean, with
It's not
what's
hard.
left, I could probably get.
I probably could platinum if I wanted to try out the rest of it. I just have to look to see what trophies I need.
260 hours.
Because I'm
on
at
Battlefield 4.
85%.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, Village, Resident Evil Village, 17 hours.
Yeah.
40 on
Oh,
Far Cry.
yeah.
32
All
on
right, guys,
Fallout.
we're
Yeah,
just
this
going.
is crazy.
We're already.
I
we're
mean,
10
basically,
minutes
I
over.
can't believe I've spent this much of my life playing video games.
played-
That's what. That's.
but I'm
hey,
not gonna stop. Like,
See, I don't think
Well,
this
it's a
is...
Vices segment.
I know
We're
for a
going
fact
nuts.
this isn't completely right, though, because right here it says the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim for PS5 I've played 1 hour of. I know that's wrong. I've played the PS5 version quite a few hours. Not a lot, but more than 1 hour.
Entering rest mode. Turning it off, guys.
All right. We're done. We're done.
What were you saying now? Just now? What,
It said I've only played 1 hour of the PS5 version of Skyrim, but I know that's not right. I know I've played it. I mean, not a whole lot, but I've
See,
played
and
a few
that's what
hours.
kills me though. Is there's stuff on there? There's info, like it's never gonna have the info from my PS3 days.
Yeah.
Where I put a majority of Skyrim time in
And
there.
it should.
A majority of the FF10 HD collection in there, because that was a transfer save from PS3. So I mean, that's the thing. There's just some games that won't be included, and it's kind of, I don't know, like you said, Sean. There's just this eye opening of, holy crap!
that's insane.
I spent a shit
Yeah,
ton of
you
time on that.
realize-
That's really
Really crazy.
I
You
know
realize how many.
how many of hours you've wasted that
Talk
you
about
could
that
have been
grind.
more
That
productive.
grind on Destiny, man.
Your light level at that rate
Jeez.
should have been like ridiculous. Like, oh my gosh, it's blinding! I can't see no more.
Wow. All right.
Alrighty, guys, that was our Vices segment. Wow.
I need to get home so I can fire up my transgender character on
Hogwarts
Legacy.
Legacy. That's right. You know they're pushing it.
Yep.
That's right.
I like it.
We didn't even get into that. That's for another controversy
another
and
one.
another time.
Another time.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you all so
PlayStation in
much
rest mode.
for tuning in. This is our episode this week. Had a lot of fun. I enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, that was
into
fun.
the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, the gritty nitty.
As always, though, right there at the bottom of your screen is all of our social media accounts. Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweets, Red Moon Picks, and Red Moon Productions on YouTube. Search there, like, share, subscribe on all of our social media accounts. We appreciate all the follows, all the comments, the questions, the concerns, and the criticisms. It's always beloved. And you can also reach out to us the old-fashioned way at RMPodcast at redmoonproductions.com. But I don't say it as nice as Keith does. Although
Fairhope, Alabama.
Sean's got my dog right now. And she,
Dog.
Oh, look at her.
That dog.
There she is, a little
that
cute
dog
pup.
there. Can email us.
She does. She,
that foot
she
tonight.
has been
She's got a
sucking
wet
that foot.
Suck that wet foot. Give me that foot, dog.
She waited a little longer to get to the table tonight.
Yeah,
Well,
she gave us
knew
some
we
time.
were busy.
Yeah. She knew we were discussing important things.
Well, let's end the show.
All right,
Go ahead,
let's
Keith.
do that.
RM Podcast at redmoonproductions.com.
Freaking beautiful.
Wow.
That's it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
and Mike Drop.
Oh.
Mike
swing.
Push. Oh, swing. Swing.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.